In the deep dive tonight, family members of the victims of last year's midair collision are vowing not to give up on an aviation bill that they strongly supported. It failed, falling one vote shy in the U.S. House just yesterday.
Our Tom Rousey asked families what's going to happen now. He's live near Reagan National Airport, Tom, with their plan.
Well, Josh, they want to move forward, and they say they're not going to stop fighting. This bill that failed yesterday would have made changes to aviation safety. For instance, planes like the ones you see in the distance would have had to have a display showing where other aircraft are in the vicinity. But that bill failed, so we asked family members of the victims of Flight 5342 last year, where do you go from here?
Yesterday was devastating.
Amy Hunter, who lost 4 cousins in last year's midair collision, says the oh-so-close defeat of the ROTOR Act in the U.S. House Tuesday will not stop her and others from fighting for an aviation safety bill that will make passengers safe.
Do we want to keep doing this? No, we don't want to still be doing this. But we really don't have any choice at this point.
The ROTOR Act would have required planes and helicopters in busy areas like D.C. to have technology that allows them to see the positions of other aircraft. And it would have closed loopholes and forced military aircraft to broadcast their positions except when they were on sensitive government missions.
Requiring our fighters and bombers and highly classified assets to regularly broadcast their location puts our men and women in uniform at risk.
ROTOR specifically had carve-outs for things like stealth aircraft, etc., meaning they did not have to broadcast their positioning, despite what Chairman Rogers said.
The ROTOR Act failed because it was brought up under a method that required a 2/3 vote. But will Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who voted no, bring it up again? His office sent us audio of the Speaker saying this.
The House has a product they filed last week, and we'll all be working together, Senate and House together, to get the final bill done. We're committed to it.
The bill filed last week that Johnson referred to is called the Alert Act.
The Alert Act tackles all of the identified root causes that led to this deadly crash.
But family members of Flight 5342 and the chair of the NTSB say in its current form, the Alert Act is too weak and it gives too many exceptions, including to the military.
They have entire wholesale exemptions for certain aircraft in certain airspace. That is not right. The risk to the public is the same.
And you heard family members of the victims of Flight 5342 say they're not giving up. They're going to keep working with Congress, they say, until a bill passes that they feel really does bring about real change to aviation safety. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, because the risk of the traveling public is really the heart of the matter here. So, Tom, is there any chance that the ROTOR Act, the bill that narrowly failed just yesterday, will be brought back for a second vote?
At this point, it looks like it's not going to happen. Speaker Johnson seems like he's throwing his support behind the other bill. That said, there was talk yesterday from some Democrats, depending on the elections this fall and what happens if there was new leadership in the House, it could potentially be brought up again, or everybody could just get together and possibly make changes to this new bill, the Alert Act, and try to get it to a point where more people are satisfied with it. Reporting live near Reagan National Airport, I'm Tom Rousey. 7 News.
A very busy Reagan Airport. Thank you so much, Tom. Well, Virginia Senator Mark Warner sharply criticized the House's failure to pass the ROTOR Act. He issued a statement that reads in part, quote, "I urge my House colleagues on both sides of the aisle to engage with the Senate and stakeholders to swiftly find a path forward for these critical air safety reforms. The safety of the flying public depends on it," end quote. Earlier this month, he and Senator Tim Kaine issued a joint statement after the NTSB released its final midair collision report. They said they will work on legislation in the months ahead to reduce flight slots at Reagan National Airport. And now is your chance to weigh in. Just scan the QR code on your screen to answer a question of the day. Here it is. Are lawmakers doing enough to improve air travel safety? 85% of you right now saying no. You can vote by going to WJLA.com. It's right there on the homepage.